So Sunday through Wednesday, I came out with 4 consecutive 10-dime run line selections, and they were all underdog plays, and I went 2-2 with them, and they were all 10-dime releases, which matches the second highest rated play I've had in my career in baseball. And thanks to all of them being underdogs and winning 2 of them at plus 120 and plus 145, I certainly had shown a little bit of a profit in those 4 days, so I was personally happy, and hopefully you were as well. But last night I decided to go with what I thought was a pretty cheap chalk, and it was the St. Louis Cardinals. Could have played them on the run line, but instead I thought it was a better play to take St. Louis just straight up on the money line. I had them at 145. They were up to 145 to 150 later in the day. And I didn't feel too good when I realized 2 things. One, the first time I turned on the score, I saw I was down 2-0 before the Cardinals even came up to bat against Arizona. 2, I happened to check to see who the half-price play of the day yesterday was. The choice, I meant, because I knew who it was. I gave you Trace Adams' play as the half-price play of the day. And he had his one and only 2,000-star double your wager underdog of the year last night on the St. Louis Cardinals on the run line at plus $1.45. So needless to say, I had a lot of extra interest in this game because people always ask me, well, sometimes what's your favorite play? And I will often tell them sometimes it's not necessarily my best bet on the board, but it's the play that I know you guys out there are just flocking to. And believe me, when Trace Adams comes out yesterday, for example, with his one and only 2,000-star underdog game of the year, and it's a half-price play of the day, you guys were flocking. You were definitely flocking. So I sat there with a lot of interest, but Cardinals come back, scored 2 in the 6th, I think it was, and then 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, and they hold on for the 4-2 win. I'm personally happy. As this company's general manager, I'm really happy, and you are really happy because Trace, congratulations to him, cashes in with the 2,000-star double your wager winner as the Cardinals deliver as the 145 run dog. Well, the half-price play of the day has now won 9 of the last 11 times it's been released, and let's keep the good mojo running. And turning to Scott Delaney, normally a 100-dime play is his top selection, and if you followed Scott Delaney over the past 3 years, in all sports combined, he has gone 55-31 with 100-dime max wager releases. But tonight, the biggest play he's ever had in baseball, first ever 150-dime release, so it's 50% stronger than those 100-dime plays. He's on a 55-31 roll. It's his blowout of the year, and you can get it for the half-price play of the day. It also happens to be winning day number 21 out of 34 for Scott overall. And the coupon code is HALF, H-A-L-F, H-A-L-F. And the 777 triple play cashed in last night as I turned to Jeff Benton. He delivered his, you think after 10 years I'd get his last name right, Jeff Benton's NL total of the month. It was the Braves Brewers going over by a couple of runs. You got it for $7.77. And I see that he has his NL total of the month part 2 coming out tonight. A play equally as strong, another 50-dime play. This one on the Braves Rockies over under. You can get it as the 777 triple play simply by using coupon code BENTON777, BENTON 777. Jeff is 10-2 in baseball so far this season, making $10 bettors a little over $3,200. And more importantly, he has won 28 of the last 42 days. And $10 bettors in that stretch have won a little over $8,800. And you've gotten 25 of those 42 releases at huge discounted prices just like tonight. So that's a quick rundown of your coupons here today. Of course, no NBA again, but as I've always maintained, and I will go to my grave believing, and honestly, it is the truth. I mean, you can choose to believe me or not, but in my experience, all these years doing this, as a gambler, as a handicapper, baseball, the easiest sport to make money in. You got to have some perseverance. You got to have endurance. When they say the dog days of summer, they ain't talking about it being hot outside. They're talking about in gambling terms, as far as I'm concerned, having the ability to hang in there through the ups and downs of an entire baseball season. But there's always money to be made. Let's get to your free selections. The first one tonight, I came this close to using it as my own personal best bet. But I like Miami at home, minus $1.10 over Milwaukee. Tom Kohler, 3-0 with a 0.64 earned run average and 4 home starts this season. All of them won by the Marlins. And, I look at Kohler and I think that he gets an added boost thanks to the fact that he's coming off a very impressive road win. And the road has not been someplace he has done exceptionally well pitching on this season. But, he's coming off 7 innings of 4-hit shutout ball and a win at San Francisco on Saturday. Now, the Brewers are going with Marco Estrada tonight. He has a 7.14 earned run average and 0-2 record in 3 starts lifetime against the Marlins. But this is his first start against Miami since 2012. But let's face it, Miami has been just a great team at home. Amazing. One of the best home records and the worst road record in the league. But this is a team that has won 13 of its last 15 at home, 19-6 overall at home this season. Ryan Braun, questionable as terms of his availability tonight. Once again, bothered by a strained muscle on his side, the same thing that had him on the disabled list a couple of weeks ago. I'm looking at Estrada's numbers, and he's got a 3.64 earned run average, very respectable. But in 54 innings pitched this season, 47 hits, okay, and 16 walks. So you do the math, that's 63 base runners in 54 innings. But what I look at, 47 hits, he's given up 12 homers among those 47 hits. That's a major league high for a pitcher served up so far this season, 12 round trippers. So I'll go with Miami minus to 110. Now, your next play is going to be the LA Angels. And, I think you have 2 ways you can consider playing this game. If you have a bankroll, I would say go ahead and play the Angels minus $1.55 to not minus $1.60. If you want to take a shot and you have a bankroll too, and you want to see if you can build that bankroll incrementally faster, you might want to take them as a run line play. Plus $1.40. Now, am I a little gun shy here involving the Angels? You better bet. You bet I am, because a couple nights ago I had them on the run line and they only won 2-1. So, they're going with C.J. Wilson, who is coming off a 5-hit shutout of Tampa Bay in his last start, which also was at home, a series in which the Angels took 3 out of 4 from the struggling Rays, threw 127 pitches. Now, that is a season high and the second most of his career, in fact. But this is a guy who's a workhorse. He averages a major league high 117 pitches per game. But you can't argue with the results. He's 3-0 with a 1.69 earned run average in his last 4 home starts. Last year in 14 home starts, he had a 2.55 earned run average. He's 3-0 with a 2.80 earned run average in 5 career starts against Kansas City, who's going with Danny Duffy, who, since re-entering the rotation, has an ERA just a tad over 1. But listen, the Angels are 5-2 on their current homestand. They've won 10 of their last 13 overall, and I like them in this spot here tonight, despite the fact that Wilson's going to throw a lot of pitches again, okay? So I'm going to go with the Angels. Casey's still not hitting the ball with any type of consistency, and I think you can play it again one of 2 ways. Straight up, which is how I would play it, or on the run line if you want to take a shot and taking the Angels as a $1.45 dog. And your final selection, boy, I've debated whether I should go with this one, but I'm going to give it anyway. I'm going to go with the Orioles at home, minus $1.45 against Cleveland. I know the Indians are red hot. I mean, no doubt about it. They've won their last 4 games, took last night's opener 8-7 in 13 innings. In those 4 straight wins, they've scored 30 runs. But keep in mind, this is the same team in the 4 games prior to that 4-game winning streak. They lost all 4 games and they scored a total of 8 runs. Can you say feast or famine? Well, then you're a Cleveland Indians fan. The Indians tonight going with T.J. House, who's making his first career start. Yeah, he had a 2.40 earned run average in 7 starts in AAA. But this is the big leagues. And the Orioles are hitting the ball. They aren't getting much result-wise, but they are hitting the ball. They're 1-3 in their last 4 games, despite they have also scored 30 runs in that 4-game stretch. They've lost 5 in a row at home. I would rather go with the Orioles in this one and lay the $1.45 to $1.50, backing Bud Norris in this particular spot. He has a 2.25 earned run average in 3 home starts. I mean, he's pitched very well in his last 3 starts overall. Has nothing to show for it other than an 0-2 record because he's been victimized by a lack of run support, because in those 3 starts, his ERA is 3.05. Problem is, the Orioles have only scored 3 runs for him in those 3 starts. I mean, case in point, his last start against Kansas City on the road last Saturday, he gave up 1 run and 4 hits in 7 1/3 innings. The Orioles lost the game, 1-0, okay? But I like Baltimore to bounce back here against a rookie who's making his first major league start. It's coming on the road. The Orioles, as I said, haven't been winning. but they have been slugging the ball just like the Indians. So I'd rather take the more veteran pitcher, the team playing at home, despite the fact they've lost 5 in a row at Camden Yards, and go with Baltimore in that spot. So Baltimore is your free selection there. The Miami Marlins, the Miami Marlins. Geez, I'm even getting lost. Next year, we'll be debating in the NBA. Was it the Charlotte Pelicans? Was it the Charlotte Bobcats? What the hell's going on? Anyway, Miami's the other free selection. And then, as I told you, a split decision. I think you should take the Angels straight up on the money line at home, but you can always opt to take them on the run line as a dog as well. That'll do it, guys. Best of luck. NBA playoffs resume on Saturday. If you're traveling today for the Memorial Day weekend, please be careful out there. There's some crazies on the road. Don't be one of them. And I'll catch you again on Saturday.